where do we want to start today? Let's hit this just because as a quick concept. Because
What do you got?
I was going to bring this up in the first section, but there's been a lot of talk about the getting away from the 40-day work week lately. It all started in like COVID and stuff like this. Well, there's a county in Washington that has adopted this, and it's San Juan County, which is all just it's the San Juan Islands. It's all just this weird kind of island life thing. Well, they've officially adopted a 32-hour work week as far as any employee they have control over, so anybody that works for the county.
And so that
or the
means...
city, really.
The thing about this, though, and I work in a municipality, so a lot of people are talking about this. This isn't for the roads people. This isn't for the utilities people. This isn't for the first responders kind of deal. What this is for like the city hall people.
The bureaucrats.
The people that sit in an office all day.
Those fuckers.
Like all the people doing the real work, they're still working 40-hour work weeks.
That makes sense.
This is literally just for the office dwellers.
And this
How do you feel about that? Probably less is more, actually.
I was about to say, honestly, the
involved.
less they're there, the better, in my opinion, because in my current job, where I work for a city, and the people at City Hall just cause issues and cause more problems than needed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's actually ridiculous. And so, the less they're there, that'd be great for me. But I think it's just there's a huge misconception where it's like everyone's going to a 32-hour work week. Like, no.
It's not even
All the
everybody within the county.
Yeah, no, all the people that are actually still doing all the real work, they're still working 40-hour work weeks. And a lot of people are pissy about that. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't get it, man. I've been working since I was 16. I've had no problem working 40 hours a week.
40 hours a week is like pretty chill, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
If you're just doing 8 hours a day.
Yeah. It's nothing. Oh, and like what we do 9 hours a day, except for every other Friday you have off. But the Friday that you do work, you work 8 hours. It's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It's like
we used to work
system.
4 9s and a 4. And so we had short Fridays.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Like when you first worked there? Yeah, we worked 4 9s and a 4. And so
that's interesting.
on Friday, well, you've always worked overtime, so I don't know that like the operating hours of Bennick have ever actually mattered to you.
Never.
But
not even in the first time.
And then when during COVID, we stopped doing overtime, and so then people were just working 40 hours, and then we stopped being open Fridays because we were only open for 4 hours that day, and so then since then we've just done 4 10s, and then we're closed officially on Fridays because it would irritate customers that we were open until like noon on Fridays.
Yeah.
So now we're just closed on Fridays, but we're open
for 4 10s.
Yeah,
and it don't suck, man.
It's the same thing for me.
Before I started at this job, I know they were on 4 10s for quite a bit, and then man, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I remember homie was talking to me about that. That's so fucking cool that he's there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's a cool guy. He's one of my favorites.
Dude that I used to work for me. Works with him now.
Yeah, he was telling me that the last time I saw him.
Fucking love it, dude.
It's really funny.
That dude's so fucking cool.
He's
an
amazing guy.
Great dude. Yeah. But anyways,
you know who you are.
I'm curious because they don't get into it in any of the articles that I found. They just bloviate about, this study says that people are more productive after 30, with only 32 hours, this, that, and the other thing. But they don't have any they don't talk to whether or not you're going to get paid for 40.
Right.
Wait,
it's just
your salary might get bumped up to equate it out, though. I think is
but they don't mention that at all. There's no talk of finances. It's just like, oh no, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, and I expect all the people who work in City Hall are salaried, so the number of hours they work doesn't matter.
That's true.
They're getting paid the same amount every month.
Right. Yeah. All the office dwellers are on a salary.
So to them, it doesn't matter.
That whole you're just as productive. You're more productive in a 32-hour work week compared to a 40. Unless you have stuff that's actually takes time to do.
Yeah.
If you're paving a road, it's not going to work out as well because you have less time of a day to pave that said road.
Well, and that's
even for the paper pushers, man, you're not getting as many permits put out.
Nope.
You're not reviewing as many plans as you could be able to do. I mean, the whole bureaucratic process is going to be slowed the fuck up.
Already more than it already is.
Yes, I don't care which municipality it is. It's all fucked.
It's slow as hell.
I used to work in development and engineering, and it is you can have a client come to you. I just bought this piece of dirt. I want to start a project.
Yeah.
What kind of time scale are we looking at? It's like, well, you probably won't even really, because it'll take time to do this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah. Yeah. And by the time we even get it up and approved by whatever municipality, probably a year or two.
Well, like,
and they're like, I have to sit here and pay for this piece of dirt and just lose money on it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Before I might see any kind of profit.
Yeah.
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 It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then people wonder why houses are $500,000 a fucking pop now.
Right. Well, and like even before I started this job, I was doing tree work for years on years since I was 16, 17 years old. And there's certain cities where you need to get permits to do certain things with your trees, kind of deal. And the time it would take that is crazy, especially for like a lot of it's hazardous trees. Like shit that's going to cause danger to people's lives.
Yep.
But in certain
Like over
places,
their houses and stuff?
Over their houses. If it's on a bank, that tree needs to come down. 'Cause if it goes down, it's going to pull the bank down with it.
Okay.
Shit like that. Even some trimming. Like I know on the city of Bainbridge, if there's a tree within 200 feet of the shoreline, you need to get a shoreline permit.
Yep.
No matter what. And there was a customer.
Then you need to have the ecologist come out and do
Yep.
a fucking bald eagle survey.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah. And
the levels of bureaucracy, no depths.
dude,
What is a bald eagle survey to make sure
to
the
make sure
bald
there's no
eagles
bald eagle nest.
in that tree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which there's a lot on Bainbridge.
Oh yeah. And if there's one nest that hasn't had an eagle in it for 3, 4, 5,
Still can't touch it.
still can't touch it.
What if they
within,
come back?
Like a 500-foot radius
Yeah.
or some shit.
We literally had a customer whose
Nuts.
tree, there's giant cedar tree that was codominant, which means it has like multiple tops to it, right? And cedars have horrible unions, especially when you have fucking 10 tops coming out of one thing,
Yep.
right? This tree was so close to their house that they had to start notching their roof out away from the tree. Like literally taking parts of their house off to accommodate for the tree.
Yep.
They wanted to get this tree removed. City wouldn't let them.
Because it had an eagle's nest in it?
No, just
Just
because they didn't feel like it.
Yeah. We're like, no, it'll pose too much of a
Yeah,
danger.
fuck
or
your
something.
fuck your property rights.
Yeah.
No,
It don't matter.
No, it's
You
bullshit.
could have a root system like compromising the integrity of your foundation.
Yep.
Well, that sucks.
Yep.
That's usually when it's best to just call up a homie that knows.
I don't understand.
That's got a little side business
Yeah.
with the tree service, just
Yeah.
pays cash,
Well, it's,
come
you
out.
know, a lot of exactly.
done.
Like people would have to on the side because if
Yep.
a company gets caught doing that, that's
Game
your
over.
company right there,
They
gone.
take your license and your bond
yeah.
and
Yep,
shit. Yeah.
absolutely, insure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then make you pay a shit ton of money in fines.
For a lot of the tree services around here are just kind of like mom and pop operations. There's
Yep.
there's no big like over in Seattle they have Westside Tree Care. That's a huge operation, but over here it's just a wife and husband started
Yep.
a company with this, and
That's it.
that
Usually,
shit would devastate them.
yeah, game over. And then usually their license being revoked like that, they'll have some kind of moratorium says you can't get another business license
No,
for
dude,
like
and
12 months.
X
or
amount
something
of
like
time.
the other crazy thing is the city of Bainbridge. I don't know if that actually fully went through, but there used to be a thing where you had to be on a certain list for the city of Bainbridge to do tree work on the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a mad dash to try to get on that list because that's where
Yep.
a lot of the work is, because that's
Right.
where a lot of the money is.
Yeah, and that's their version of being able to cut back on like bureaucratic costs because it takes less time for people to put in bids supposedly because you already have an approved list of contractors that
Yep.
the city has vetted.
Yep.
And so these contractors are the vetted ones that we approve of to do work here. So we will pay them money. We'll allow you to get money to pay them because they're an approved vendor.
Well, I'm sure there's no corruption or anything involved
Not
in
even
that
a little
process.
bit, dude. Are you kidding me? That,
Yeah.
that place is about as fucking square as possible.
No greased palms
No,
or...
it's super clean.
Wow.
Super clean. And
Let
it's
me-
Politicians don't do
Every
that,
one of them.
man. They're
Let
here
me
to
ask
serve
about
us.
this
Right.
32-hour work week thing because I've had some confusion on this. Bronson, what up, dog?
Bronson.
I've had some confusion on this because, like, when we talked about it with the auto workers, right? They were saying they weren't asking for 32 hours. They were just asking for, like, 4 days because Homeboy was saying he was just trying to work his 10 hours and go. These people don't work on hourly rates. If they work 4 days a week, they're working 32 hours because they're only open for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So,
At best.
yeah, so I wonder if the person in the auto workers union was confused or if it's a different policy that they're looking at over there than here.
I'd imagine it's different.
Yeah.
Auto worker as in like a mechanic.
No. The auto workers union, like for people that work in the factories and stuff like that,
Oh,
there's big
Ford
strikes.
and-
There's big strikes going on in the
Yeah,
auto workers
okay,
union.
yeah.
And so we were watching some videos from them the last time we were here, and one of those guys, one of the protesters, the picketers, was talking about, he was like, I don't want whatever, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I just want to work my 10 hours in 4 days and like leave. So he was not asking for 32 hours a week. He was just asking to work a 4 10s. which to me sounded like a very reasonable request. Just change the shifts that people are working. Like, this is not, you have night shifts, you have things like this is not that big of a request. It will take some administrative work, but it will be fine,
Well, that's what they're there to do.
Precisely. So that to me seemed very reasonable. This, if you're talking about adjusting the amount of hours someone has to work in a year for them to be qualified as full-time and to receive those benefits, I think that's, well, it's obviously wrong if you're only applying it to a very minute portion of the people who happen to work within the government itself, And when we were talking about they're saying studies say people are more productive in 32-hour work weeks. So the way that I think about that, most people who work in office 40 hours aren't working for 40 hours. They're fucking around a lot. So, of course, if you have one less day a week that you're in the office, you have to do more shit in 4 days because you have a fifth day where you aren't fucking there.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to get more shit done in 4 days if you only work 4 days.
And it probably feels better because, I think everybody can appreciate this. If you're spinning your wheels at work and just trying to, make the hours go by, not really being productive, but you're just
watching One Piece?
Just doing
I'm
whatever.
just kidding. I work very productively at work. I didn't know that's where you were going.
But if you're constantly just kind of half-assing work just to get through the day, instead of okay, I got this, and this to do. Whereas if you are in there because you are there only for 4 days, and I go, okay, this is all the shit I got to do this week, and you're going to be more focused, and you're just hammering out work. You're not getting sidetracked because you're trying to leave on time, and you want to make sure all this shit gets done by the end of the week. You'll just not fuck around as much, which just by the nature of you not screwing around increases your productivity, and then you're still doing the exact same amount of work,
right?
But because your day goes by faster. At the end of the day, you're blinking like, oh shit, I can't believe it's already fucking 4 o'clock. Time to check out. Let's head out for the day. Because you were focused on what you were doing all day versus fucking around just trying to make time go by.
Yep.
But I don't like it. I don't like it. Any kind of institutionalized incentive to not work as much, because we already have a hard enough time with that as it is.
Yeah.
When there's all these incentives to work as hard as possible because you'll just get paid more, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
You keep removing incentives like that, all you're going to do is just make the workforce less and less resilient towards hard work.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Which, it's important. Hard work moves this country.
That's the only thing that does.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing
and how long has the 40-hour work week been around?
Ford was the first person who instituted the 40-hour work week, and the first truck was invented in the 20s.
Yeah.
So somewhere around 25, I would say.
Yeah.
It was probably about the time that the 40-hour work week has
So
existed.
suck it up, pussy.
And he regulated that because he wanted people to have time with their kids. So if you're here 40 hours, I still am getting mine, but also you can
because
just
during
be at home and do
Industrial
shit.
Revolution time, 40 hours was like working
Part-time.
halftime.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's
Quit being
crazy.
a pussy. Get back in
Yeah,
the
just
mine,
get the
you
fucking
fuck.
work. Stop. It's bullshit, man.
It's
This is the
because he's
first-
looked at it as such like a fucking tyrant now by making his employees work 40
Well,
hours.
he was
Like,
anti-union and fucking
motherfuckers
blah blah. He's making
Yeah.
trucks, bitch. Of course he's anti-union.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Just make the truck, fucker, and I'll give you money.
Make the rig.
Yeah, make it, and I'll fucking pay you.
Oh, that's great. 410s is so easy.
This is the
Brian
first
said
real
it.
topic, Bronson. We haven't really. We were just fucking around
Yeah.
the first one. Kind of. It's always how we do, especially with guests.
A whole lot of gun stuff.
Yeah,
we
really.
really flooded the first bit with gun stuff.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
community, bro.
Community.
Guns and community.
well, especially
beautiful
with
thing.
guests. The first part is always very loose. It's just
Yeah.
getting to
I appreciate that. It's a nice format.
yeah.
Really
yeah.
eases in.
When usually like this, only one of us knows the person who's in, so the
Yeah.
other person will meet him for the first time. So we're like, we'll ask him some questions, get to
Yeah.
know him a little
There
bit,
you
you
go.
know. Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
But what do we want to talk about next?
Let's talk about the government shutdown because
What government shutdown?
Riley and I spoke about it for just a brief moment in between the two. So we're not going to get too hairy and deep into this type of stuff. We're going to talk about more conceptual type things, but we will
Because
go.
when's
So
Josh Keaton's coming on in
next episode,
Next
yep,
episode.
2 weeks from today.
A lot of it's just your guess is as good as mine.
And precisely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when Josh comes in, we'll get more deep into the stuff. He's real heady into politics, so we'll be able to discuss more. Like I
Bronson
said,
wants to hear about Palestine and Israel. We'll talk about that later. I
yeah,
think.
that's
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in part 3 because that
Stay
just
tuned.
started to happen this morning. Yeah, and so we just we'll talk about kind of what we know because it's still obviously very much developing.
Yeah, that was my late night last night. Getting stoned as shit. Got Rick and Morty on the background, and I'm just on my phone going through Twitter looking for shit, and it's just